with 4 wins so far under his belt is America's Eddie Lawson on 125 points. In second place, we have Wayne Rainey, fellow American, on 97 points. Sitting there in third, Australian current and world champion Wayne Gardner. All the home fans will be rooting for him. He's on 85 and he has an awful lot to do to catch the flying Lawson this season. In fourth place is Kevin Schwantz, a newcomer to Grand Prix racing, and bringing up fifth place, Kevin Magee, another Australian. So there's an awful lot there, and there you can see the grid position. Sharon, Lawson, Magee, Gardner, Garadiga's on the front row. The flag marshal there, ready to go.
It's vitally important to get a good run off the grid here, because if you get stuck behind the back markers, it takes a lot to get him past. So let's hope the Aussies get a good start.
The tension here is tremendous. They've got the green line. They're all the way. Half starting Eddie Lawson, straight through into an early lead as they head down towards the first right-hander. And there's Lawson leading. Lawson from Ron Haslam. Ron Haslam, number 4. Number 8 there you can see, that's Pier Francesco Chili, the Italian, on the Honda. But Haslam was always a fast starter. How does the Elf handle, Barry?
It doesn't handle too bad. I saw Haslam, it looked to me as if he jumped the start a little bit. As long as they didn't see him, he'll be right, as they say. Lawson's doing the right thing here at Assen, because if you can get a break and leave all your competition sort of tangling out and fighting with one another, if you can get a sort of a 2-second break on the first lap, you're in the pound seats, because Assen is a fabulous circuit, provided no one gets in their way.
Well, Eddie Lawson is certainly in the driving seat, or the pound seats as you put it, so far this season. 4 wins already under his belt. In Agostini's team, Giacomo Agostini, of course, former world champion. You know him well, Barry. And Lawson has been world champion already twice before, in 84 and 86. And he won here last year, so he knows his way around the circuit. Lawson already stretching a bit of a lead over the second place man. On their way around, there's Eddie Lawson, the knee out, flicks it down 2 gears, over onto the right-hand side of the bike, cranks it over, beautifully smoothly around there. The field trailing out behind. Don't forget, 20 laps to go, a long, long way. The lap record here sitting at 163.5 kilometres per hour, held by Wayne Gardner, set here in 1986. That was already beaten, as I said in the introduction, by Christian Sauron.
Now, I was just looking for Wayne Gardner and Kevin Magee. It looked to me as if Gardner was down in about 10th place, and that is the last place he wants to be at the moment, because as I say, if somebody can get a break, it makes life so easy, so much easier around here. And of course, Lawson knows this, because he got a very bad start here a couple of years ago. Also, a couple of years ago, going into this left-hander in the rain, Lawson ran off the edge of the track, so I should... Ooh, very close there. Oh, Wayne's up into 4th place now.
So there you can see the battle there really for second place. Lawson already establishing a fairly commanding lead in this. But there's somebody across the grass there, that was fairly close. Kevin Magee's in there as well, Wayne Rainey.
I was talking to Wayne this morning, and he's a hell of a lot happier with his bike than he was. And he said, look, I'll just give it everything I got. If I don't win, it won't be for the one of trying. And he's certainly having a go. He's up behind Chile now, and I would say that he'll be past Chile pretty soon.
Didier de Radiguet is well placed there, Barry. When we were on our way over, you were saying that he knows this circuit well, and you wouldn't be surprised to see him up in the top 3.
Well, I certainly wouldn't, because I've seen him had some really good rides here on a 250 and a 350, and you have to really get the power to the ground on a 250 and 350, so Didier is very underestimated. It's the first time he's ever had a good motorbike, so I expect to see him do very well this year.
Well, he's Eddie Lawson's stable companion, so they'll do their best to bring those red Yamahas, and there they are sitting in first and second place.
There's only a couple of really good passing places here, and that is when you come through this series of bends, you go into a tight first gear right-hand hairpin, and that would be one of the places where Wayne would be able to nip up the inside of Achilles. But it just depends how close he gets through the kinks.
So, an update. Lawson leading. Didier de Radiguet's Yamaha teammate in second place. Pier Francesco Chili from Italy sitting in third on the Honda. So Yamaha, Honda.
Gardner was having a nice little look on the inside there.
Had a look through the left. Sit up, air brake, front brake hard on. So Gardner sitting in 4th. Gardner looking for a way past. He desperately needs to win here today.
We were talking about this very fast kink coming up this morning, and Wayne and I were saying how much he hates it. Oh, we've lost it out the shot now, but if you get a good run through it, it's a perfect place to pass, and also coming up to this the chicane is a good place to nip up on the inside.
Well, they run very wide. Gardner almost on the grass. Sat the bike up a bit. He was almost on the grass there, but he's hanging on grimly to fourth. He knows very well he's got to get past that flying Honda of Pierre Francesco Chili if he can. To set about the two Yamahas, but all the time, Lawson now easing away. Lawson's gap almost 2 seconds now over the second man.
I was having a chat with Wayne this morning. He was saying that he has a lot of trouble with the bike running wide in the thing sort of understeers. You point for the exit of the corner and you arrive at it about 6 or 8 feet earlier than you should, and it's a difficult thing around here because it means you're climbing from one side of the bike to the other, and all that does is wear you out. And Assen is a very, very physical circuit. The good thing is that it's not too hot today, so hopefully it won't wear people out too much.
Well, Wayne Gardner's had an unhappy season so far. They just haven't been able to sort the Honda out for him. First of all, he suffered with terribly bad wheel spin problems. He's been beset by handling problems so far all season. The motor certainly seems quick enough, and there, Gardner making his bid through now up into third. So Wayne Gardner setting about the two flying Yamahas in first and second. And there you can see Didier de Radigues from Belgium. There's Wayne Gardner. There's Chile.
And I'm not sure whether that's Rainey or Magee in fourth spot.
Magee was there earlier on, but
fifth spot, sorry.
Certainly sitting there. Looks as though he's in fifth. But Lawson's still in command. 150 brake horsepower, 4-cylinder, 2-stroke, liquid cooled, an awful lot of power. And when we were watching practice, they were literally popping wheelies and going through the gearbox with the front wheel in the air the whole length of the start-finish straight. It looked absolutely terrifying to me. How easy is it to do that, Barry?
Oh, it's pretty easy. It looks pretty trick, Barry, but when you've got 150 horsepower on tap, you can stand it on the back wheel in 6 gears. You know, it's not that difficult. Gardner's made a hell of a lot of ground on de Radigues, and I wouldn't be at all surprised to see him have a bit of a nibble at him somewhere through this lap.
Well, I really feel, and I'm quite sure Wayne Gardner feels, that he is in a no-lose situation. He really has to do something today. He's got to try and get a win out of the bag if he can. Number 14 you saw going through there, Patrick Goer from France. He's the teammate of Christian Saron, who set fastest time in practice.
Well, the thing about Wayne is he's using his head. You know, he realises that he's really struggling in that the bike doesn't handle too good. So he's using his head. You know, you can't make a silk purse out of a sow's ear, and he fell down in Austria last week. It's the first time he's fallen down in a Grand Prix since Assen in 1983, and that wasn't his fault. The thing seized up and sort of pitched him over the handlebars. So he's not doing a bad job. He's not having the easiest of seasons, and everybody and their auntie are on his shoulders, so he's doing okay.
And of course, Barry, we mustn't overlook the practice crash where he broke 5 bones in his foot, so he's been struggling with a bit of injury throughout the season, and that's only just mended, I believe.
Well, yeah, you know, as they say, it never rains, but it pours, and when things start to go wrong, they just never seem to stop. Right now, Wayne, if he's got a good chance of nipping up the... Oh, yes, there he goes. Oh, that was a really nice move. Every rider has a favourite spot. De Radigues is very good on the brakes, so he can get through. Every rider has a favourite spot, and that was the place where he got killy.
Well, we're going to see it again. You can see as he comes out of the bend, he's slipstreaming him, puts it on, he's got the Honda on the boil, he goes flying past de Radigues. There's absolutely nothing the Belgian could do about it. Wayne Gardner up to second place on the Honda. Pulling in, of course, Eddie Lawson a little bit more. He needs to do that one more time. Yeah,
what we want to see, if we can get some close shots of Wayne, we want to see how the thing's handling, because it doesn't seem as if it's wriggling around too badly.
Certainly looks a lot better. I've seen some earlier Grand Prix this year, and he was in a dreadful state, but he certainly seems to be going better now. Fourth qualifier, there's number 52.
Kate
retired.
Or something or others.
He's taking an early bath, as they say in the football trade. Out goes the knee. There's Wayne Gardner. Gardner closing. It certainly looks to me as though he's closing. We'll put the clock on him next time round just to see what the gap is. But he's definitely winding Eddie Lawson in visually. There's no question of that as Lawson goes past the commentary point. Lawson leads. Gardner in second. De Radiguet's in third, and they have opened up a respectable gap over the fourth place man.
Wayne certainly pulled in Lawson. It's only two seconds now, and I should imagine if we get off this bloke in the pits that we're gonna see him chewing that lead away as he did the previous lap.
Still motoring on well, Eddie Lawson. 4 laps into the race, don't forget 20 to go, a long time. Anything can happen, but Gardner poised now, sitting beautifully in second place. With Eddie Lawson still holding that advantage over the new second place man, recently moved there, Wayne Gardner from Australia, so Yamaha, Honda, Yamaha, and a new battle going on in 4th and 5th place because Australian Kevin Magee has slipped beautifully up into 4th, past Pierre Francisco Chile on the Honda, so a rare mix of Japanese, but sadly missing from the front 6 is the flying Suzuki of Kevin Schwantz, who unfortunately fell in the second practice session yesterday and broke bones in his feet, and that will be very, very disappointing for him, Barry, because I know you have more than a passing interest in Kevin Schwantz's progress, and as I speak, Christian Saron takes another place.
Yeah, Christian just nipped past Kevin Magee there, and looks like Magee's would have been a neat move if he'd have made it. Incidentally, the time between Lawson and Gardner is still 2 seconds flat. So even though Wayne's trying as hard as he can, obviously Lawson is giving it everything he can. Yeah, Kevin Schwantz busted 3 toes on his right foot and dislocated his big toe. And it's not the best of things to do because you're working so hard around here with the back brake and the gear lever. So he must be in quite a lot of pain, but hopefully he'll be better soon.
And a faller, there is a faller picking himself up. Apparently okay, no problem there.
Valese.
One of the back markers sadly there. I remind you, you're watching the Dutch 500cc Grand Prix, round 8 of the World Championship, live on 9's Wide World of Sport. Ryder resumes, back on the track, no injury. Still a long way to go, only 5 laps done, they're on their 6th. There's the leader, Eddie Lawson. And in second place now, and visibly closing, reigning world champion Wayne Gardner, who is desperate, absolutely desperate for a win here today. If he's going to keep any hopes of retaining the title, he needs a win. And that's the gap. There's Lawson, there's Gardner. A long, long way now before third place man De Radiguet. And fastest lap being set by Wayne Gardner, 168.208 kilometres per hour. That's pretty quick, Barry.
It certainly is, 2:11.28, and the previous lap record here was 2:14.28. So he's just got 3 seconds off of it, which is not too shabby by any manner of means.
Of course, Christian Saron took 3 seconds off the lap record in practice, but how realistic are practice times compared to the race times?
Well, they're pretty realistic with motorcycles, thank God. We don't have sort of trick qualifying tyres and very high boost and all that sort of stuff. So Christian turned to 2:10. Maybe when the tank gets a little bit lighter, they can go a bit quicker, but when the tank's lighter in motorbikes, the tyres have gone off a bit. So probably knock it down a little bit, but that's a very, very quick time for Gardner.
Well, that points to the fact that Gardner, or the Honda technician, seems to have got that bike something like now, Barry, and he certainly appears to be going well with no apparent handling problem.
Well, it certainly looks like that. He doesn't seem to be struggling as much. The thing is to steer like a supermarket trolley with it leaping all over the show, but at least now, by the looks of it, he when he points it in a direction, it goes exactly where he points it, which is what he needs. If we get a slow-mo out of this corner, you see when he puts the power on, see, as the bike was, the thing would have bucked and weaved and jumped all over the show. All it does here is just wriggle a little bit, and the front end come off the ground a bit. But that's nothing. I mean, that's just par for the course.
Pulling a small wheelie there, and I understand that the Honda technicians completely misunderstood Wayne Gardner's instructions over the winter season and virtually built the bike back to front. It wasn't what he wanted at all.
Well, that's it. It does happen. You have a lot of communication problems sometimes with the Japanese factories, and if it doesn't go right for them, you end up getting the blame for it. So I can really feel for Wayne because I've been in that position.
There's Lawson. He knows his pit crew will be telling him the exact gap between himself and Wayne Gardner, although a win here for Gardner won't really dent Lawson's championship hopes. He's certainly got to get a win. He's certainly got to try very, very hard indeed to keep Wayne Gardner behind him, but Lawson leading still.
You see the gap there, 1.64 seconds. So Wayne's knocked 0.4 of a second off in a lap. It's not very easy to knock time off here, but it's very easy to lose it.
I mentioned earlier, Barry, we were talking before that exciting party move, we were talking about Kevin Schwantz, and you've got more than a casual interest in that young man.
Yeah, I have. I was the guy that paid his fare over from the States and gave him my old bike because I was convinced in his ability to do the job for Suzuki, and I think they're pretty glad that I did now.
Well, he certainly burst on the Grand Prix scene in an amazing fashion. Has already won 2 Grand Prix. Lawson, this man, of course, has got 4, so we have 3 Grand Prix winners so far in the series. And Gardner desperately trying now to get on the roster. And there's Randy Mamela, the ill-fated Randy Mamela, because he's had nothing but problems with the Cagiva and the tyre choice this season. But having said that, he qualified reasonably well on that. And Didier de Radiguet is picking it up, so he is out now of 3rd place. That's thrown it wide open. It now means that Saron, unless things have changed, Saron is now sitting in 3rd place. That's a tragedy for the Belgian.
Yeah, it's so sad. I was talking to Didier earlier on, and he was saying, oh, I've crashed 7 times, but now I've stopped crashing. Oh, maybe we're going to see what happens. Yes, it's going into the tight right-hand corner, and he obviously locked up the front end, because when he came into shots, he was on the floor, so classic case of locking the front end up, and that's the worst thing to do, because you go down with such a smack.
Heartbreaking for him. Heartbreaking. Never mind. Lawson on his way. He's still on 2 wheels, still motoring well. As the rider goes into the pits, Gardner's spinning hot as shit. After commentary point. So now the 3rd place man could well be Saron, and of course Kevin Magee will have jumped back up to 4th again. This is all speculation because at the moment we're watching the leader. But we need to know, and as soon as we find out what's happening further down the field, we'll bring that information to you. Fantastic live action here at Assen.
Christian Saron is still in 3rd and Kevin Magee is 4th. And the distance between Lawson and Gardner is still 2 seconds by my watch.
So 2 seconds is a good enough cushion at this stage in the race on lap 9. You said earlier on, Barry, that this is a scientific circuit, it's a rider's circuit. De Radiguet showed us just how much a rider's circuit it needed to be, because he was obviously riding on the limit and made a mistake and threw it away. How much will a rider be planning at this stage in the race his eventual finish? Do you feel, from your point of view, that Gardner could be keeping something in reserve and keeping that gap at 2 seconds?
No, I don't. I think you'll find that Wayne will be trying as hard as he can, because he'll be wanting to eat away at Eddie's lead, because psychologically for Eddie, that's not a good thing, because if Lawson is trying as hard as he can, which he is, and Wayne starts to catch him up, you come past it, there's 2 seconds on your pit board, then 1.8, then 1.6, and you're putting everything into it, psychologically very bad for a ride, and you think, well, I can't do it anymore. Then I used to find the best thing to do was slow down, let the guy pass, and follow him. But
well, by the same token then, would you think that maybe Lawson is riding a tactical race? From the front it's easier because you are totally in command. I feel that maybe Lawson's got a little bit left in reserve if pushed.
I would say if pushed, certainly. But nice little wiggle there. If pushed, certainly. But he will be trying to get as much ground as he can on the 2nd place man. It doesn't matter whether it's Wayne or whoever it is. He just wants to get a good 5-6 second cushion. Because then when you get that kind of cushion, it's interesting to see that Lawson, he's putting everything into it he's got, trying as hard as he can, because you see his bike's starting to wriggle around. Now that's a good thing for Wayne, because if Eddie's thing starts wriggling around, it's going to start tearing the tyres to pieces. They're running different compound tyres, so we'll have to wait and see the result. Well,
that could be just the psychological boost that Wayne Gardner needs to lift him up over the second half of the race. We're now on lap 9, almost halfway into the race, but don't forget it's a 20-lapper.
4th. Yeah, and Wayne Gardner now has chopped a large lump off of Eddie Lawson's lead. It's down to 1.2 seconds now, so it's 0.8 of a second in a lap, which is no mean feat round here.
Well, maybe, Barry, we're halfway into this race now. Maybe he's beginning to make his charge, as they say in the four-wheel business. There's not much room in our commentary point to jump around with enthusiasm. But maybe Wayne Gardner is going to give us something. And it certainly looks as though he's closing now on Eddie Lawson, following into that right-hander. Out come the knees, flick it down to the left. Lawson running a bit wide. Gardner spots the wheelie there, but that gap is noticeably closing now. The Honda winding the Yamaha in. Could this be it?
Well, let's hope so. Oh, yeah, I mean, he's chewed away there. He's caught half a second in third of a lap.
Well, this must be a tremendous fillip to Wayne Gardner's confidence now. He's wound the Yamaha man in halfway into the race. The Honda seems to be performing well. We know it's quick. The speed hasn't been the problem all season, but it does appear now as though they've sorted out the other little discrepancies they have with the chassis and the tyres. The brakes seem to be working. It seems to be gripping. And look how Wayne Gardner now is closing on Eddie Lawson, race leader.
Oh, Wayne and I were talking about that corner this morning. There's yellow flags out there, so maybe we've got some action around the corner here. Oh, yes, slow rider. But he's certainly, psychologically, he's got to be very happy chappy at the moment.
Throwing it from right to left to right again. And Lawson's bike is weaving as he puts the power on out of the bend. Gardner almost close enough to get a toe. And maybe he'll repeat the move where he'll pop out of the slipstream and slip past this Yamaha just like he did Didier de Radiguet, who sadly is no longer in this race, having slid off. But Gardner, well and truly with the bit between his teeth now, got Lawson firmly in his sights. He's going to do all he can, and he's closing. He's looking for a gap now. Lawson will be getting rattled.
He wants to get as close as he can on this little bit here because there's a really good passing spot coming up. You get through this long right-hander, and he goes left, and then another right-hander, and into a hairpin, and you can. That is probably the best passing place in the circuit. Up into this left-hander here, he's not close enough. That's a good one to nip up on the inside there. I would say he'll go for his favourite left-hand kink. Let's wait and see.
Well, he's certainly close now, looking tremendous. I'm rooting for him, and I'm sure we all are here, and I know the fans at home are. He's really trying now, really piling the coals on. Tell us about fuel, Barry. What sort of fuel do these bikes use?
They just run on aviation fuel, same sort of thing as a piston helicopter or a piston light-homing engine aircraft would use.
Is that a little bit better than pump petrol?
Yes, it is. It is very much so. And it stops the engine detonating. Saron and Kevin Magee having a real old ding-dong there.
So it's good to see Saron up there. He qualified well, fastest in practice, and there a beautiful shot of the Honda in pursuit of Eddie Lawson. Lawson leading. Wayne Gardner, current world champion. He's got a lot to do, but he's closing and he's looking good now.
He had a good run out of that corner then, and he's not going to have enough room to do it there. Lawson's good on the brakes, so he's going to be really struggling to get past here. Oh! Very wide.
Kicked up a bit of chalk dust there as he ran on the white line. But still safely on the circuit and right up his exhaust pipe now. Couldn't get much closer without colliding. But now we can see how they compare. The Yamaha did seem to drive out of that corner a bit quicker. Yeah, it does. It pulls a little bit better on the bottom end. But now we're going to see some action because we're coming up against the back markers. And we see whose day it is for the back markers, because one day somebody gets the good luck and the next day the bad luck. So, he's through. Well, I missed that.
Well, we didn't see it.
What a superb passing move it must have been, because Wayne Gardner is now leading on lap 12 of the Dutch 500cc Grand Prix. Wayne Gardner has taken the Honda through. He's leading the Grand Prix now. If he can keep this up to the checkered flag, it'll be the win he so desperately needs this season, if he has any hope at all of keeping his World Championship hopes alive. Now comes a crucial point in the race, because they're getting among the back markers and anything can happen. Yeah, I think in actual fact that's what did happen. Wayne was closing on Eddie, and Eddie just hesitated a little bit. And you only have to hesitate a fraction of a second, you get a back marker in the way, and it really ruins your day. Well, Barry Sheene is riding every single inch of this race. He's twitching in the commentary box. His right hand is going, his left foot's going, his clutch hand is going, and Lawson's close again on Gardner. But Gardner has the advantage. All he has to do is keep that Yamaha behind and pick his way carefully through the tail enders. Exciting action here from Holland, and we're returning next week to Grand Prix racing to Belgium for the 9th round of 500cc World Championship road racing in just over a week from now. Gardner still in command. Eddie Lawson now sitting in second. Barry, what do you think will be going through Eddie Lawson's brain right at this moment?
Well, he'll be doing all he can to stick with Wayne and see if he can wear him down a little bit. They're both riding as hard as they can ride. It's anyone's guess what the outcome's going to be, but what Wayne wants to do if he can is use a back marker. Oh, he's using all the road. Incidentally, the crowd are going bananas here in the stands in front of us. There's quite a few Gardner fans. If you can get a back marker, just nip up the inside of him before you come to a corner and leave him stuck in front of the guy you're racing with. It does you so much good.
And to keep the sporting momentum going, don't forget, coming up right after the race, day 6 of Wimbledon. So plenty of action tonight here on Wide World of Sport.
I can't believe the transmission, the transition of Wayne's bike. I mean, the thing handled so badly, it was an embarrassment. And it's got to be so nice for him to be able to ride something that goes where he puts it.
Well, in fairness, Barry, Honda's been getting a lot of bad press.
Oh, lovely. Now, if that guy can fall in front of... Oh, this is exactly what Wayne wants. He couldn't ask for a better thing. Now, if he doesn't... No, it's only Lawson who got stuck behind there, but you see how much ground Wayne gained there.
Yeah, that gap now is about half a second, so he gained fractions of a second, and they're vital round here. As I was saying, Barry, in fairness, Honda's had a lot of bad press about the state of that bike of Wayne Gardner's the first half of the season, and no small amount of it from Wayne Gardner himself.
Well, they deserved a bit of shrapnel. After all said and done, it was... they completely reorganised their racing team, and they got rid of everybody that knew exactly what they were talking about and started off with a clean slate. I mean, that's a stupid thing to do, really. So they got exactly what they deserved, except it's Wayne that's paying the price.
Well, never a man to mince words. Barry Sheene gave us his candid opinion of exactly what was wrong in the Honda team camp, but they do seem to have got their act together now. We're delighted, and it's good news for Wayne Gardner. A quick glimpse over the left shoulder there, just to see where arch rival Eddie Lawson is, but Gardner still has that half-second advantage. Coming around now on lap 13 of 20. So 2/3 of the way now into the race. All that Gardner has to do is hold it together to the flag, and he's certainly looking in the driving seat at the moment.
He sure is. He's pulled a nice little bit of ground on Lawson that lap. Now, if he can have another lap like that and stretch it a bit more, it tends to be a bit of a demoraliser for someone that's chasing. And if Lawson then gets stuck behind some traffic, it all helps.
A very, very fantastically supportive crowd here. You can see them in the backdrop there, all the way around this circuit. Lawson going past, the programs are waving, everybody's delighted to see this. Lap 14 of the 500 Grand Prix here in Holland. Welcome back on 9's Wide World of Sport. The rundown on the positions as we go into lap 16 in the lead. This man, number 1, Wayne Gardner from Australia, reigning world champion. In second place, number 3, Eddie Lawson, and there's Lawson trying to get back past the back marker. In third place, it's Christian Saron, number 7. In fourth place, it's number 16, Kevin Magee from Australia. And in fifth, on the Honda, Neil Mackenzie from the UK, but lapping the tail enders now, a crucial part of the race. 75% of the distance gone, and there's Gardner.
Yeah, well, you get your days with the back markers, and it's going dead right for Wayne at the moment. Lawson's getting stuck behind everybody. So Wayne's worked really hard at the beginning of the race, and it's paid dividends. Because, as I say, you see, Lawson is putting every foot wrong, not because of his own fault, but you just get good days and bad days.
Number 32 there, retired Martin Duzer from Holland. So as a local man, the fans will be a bit disappointed he's pulled out, but several Dutchmen qualified, Barry, and that's no mean achievement in itself, is it?
No, it's not. With the Grand Prix bikes of today, they're just so superior to the production equipment that's available to buy that you just don't stand a dog's chance as a privateer.
Gardner looking good now. That gap noticeably increased. Over a second now, Lawson is trailing in his wake. Gardner must be feeling almost on top of the world. Let's just make sure But we're with him and he stays there and does nothing silly. But now you can see Lawson slipping inside a tail ender in the background there. But it's given Gardner the edge he needed to open the gap. 15 laps on his 16th lap. Beautifully in control. The Honda looking smooth, very professional Wayne Gardner, keeping his World Championship hopes alive. A bit of a wobble there, Barry.
Yeah, it's only a little wriggle. It's nothing really. It's just something that they do when you're accelerating. The front goes light. I mean, if that was the biggest of Wayne's problems all year, he'd be laughing all the way home. .405 seconds. That is a hell of a lump round Assen.
Well, that's a tremendous cushion for Eddie Lawson to wind in if he's going to get back on terms with a flying Wayne Gardner. And from where we're sitting, it's looking a little bit doubtful because Gardner really does seem in command, even taking time to glimpse back across the bend there on that left-hander just to see where his adversary was.
That's the good thing about Assen. Is when Wayne gets through his next left-hander, you go into a hairpin, and it's good. It's a really slow hairpin. You can just have a quick look behind, and it's quite a fast circuit, but you don't have to worry too much about pitfalls because you just seem to know what's going on. You can look behind quite easily here.
Well, with a 40-point lead over Gardner in the championship, of course, Eddie Lawson has no real worries, and if he rode second place for the rest of the season, he'd probably clinch the title. So he's not about to do anything silly and break his neck. But having said that, he must be wondering what he has to do now to catch Gardner in the final stages of this race with 4 laps to go.
Good slow motion shot there. You see the back end of the bike sliding, and it shows the rear tyres getting really hot. And it's interesting also that Wayne's bike doesn't seem to be sliding around so much. So maybe Wayne's choice of tyre was better than Eddie's. Still slicing through the back markers.
Tyre technology is really rapid in the world of motorcycle sport, as in car racing, and weekly developments go on, I would assume, Barry, to try and get things right.
Oh yeah, they do. It's a good thing about Michelin are the main sort of supporters of the bike racing Grand Prix circus, and they listen to all the riders and they react extremely quickly.
Well, this is looking more and more with 4 seconds gap between them, and on lap 18, more and more like Wayne Gardner's first Grand Prix victory. I'm not going to preempt anything because other people have said similar things and things can happen. The race isn't won until the checkered flag is passed, but he's certainly looking very, very confident, very steady. The crowd here urging Wayne Gardner through to what could be his first victory. Well into it now, just 2 laps to go before the checkered flag, and that gap, 4 seconds. Lawson's really going to have to pull something out of the bag, something very trick to get on terms again with Wayne Gardner.
I would say with the gap now, unless Wayne has some drastic sort of bad luck, like the thing breaks down or something, or he gets pushed off by a back marker, keep our fingers crossed, but he should, all things being equal, have it in the bag. Now Lawson will see with a gap like that and 2 laps to go, there's no way that Lawson is going to... He's settled now for second place. So,
pulling a wheelie there, feeling confident now.
Oh, sure. You know, Wayne will realise when he comes past this time, will have pulled out probably another second in that lap. So he'll just settle down, and Lawson, as I say, he's settled for second now. You can only do so much, and a guy of Gardner's talent or Lawson's talent, they know when they're beaten. You don't sort of bat your head against a brick wall. Well,
I think it's significant that Gardner caught and passed him from behind, and really that says it all. And at the time that happened, they were getting among the back markers. So Wayne Gardner has ridden a beautifully tactical race. He started well. He fought his way through from 4th place. Lawson took the advantage for the first 10 laps, but then Gardner squeezed through at half distance. A lot of movement down the field, but once in front, Gardner knew what he had to do, and that was to increase the lead over number 3, Eddie Lawson, and get that Honda out in front where he really wanted it to be. There'll be jubilation in the Honda camp as he brings it home.
Yeah, according to my time, he's got 7.2 seconds and we've got 1 lap to go as far as I can see.
On lap 19 now, so on his way round to the last lap flag, or the last lap board, as Wayne Rainey circles past our commentary point. Wayne Rainey, fellow Californian of Eddie Lawson, but not really on the leaderboard today. There's Gardner coming round past number 25. Up behind the tail enders, not doing anything silly now. Get the last lap board next time out. And there's the gap. You can see now how far Lawson is behind Gardner. The gap is tremendous, you're quite right. He appears to have settled for second. He'd be silly to do anything.
Well, it's the only sensible thing to do. If all goes according to plan and Wayne wins, it's a lovely Grand Prix debut for Channel 9. First Grand Prix for Channel 9 and the first win of the season for Wayne Gardner. So it's very nice.
And a good result for Kevin Magee as well.
Well, Kevin is still fighting with Christian Saron, but he's now, nearly 5 seconds behind Christian. So I would say that it's going to end up the way it is at the moment.
Wayne Gardner bringing that Honda round. Nicely in control now. Flicks it through the chicane. Coming down past the commentary point to start his last lap. The last lap flag has been given to him. Just over 6 kilometres to do now.
Now this is where poor old Wayne will be going around. This is the longest lap of the race when you've got a lead like this and you've had a season like Wayne's had. He'll be riding around thinking, oh, I hope it doesn't break down, I hope this doesn't go wrong, I hope something else doesn't go wrong. It really seems as if it takes forever.
No restriction on fuel, I suppose, Barry.
No,
There's never any question of running out of fuel.
No, it's the top 6 there. Gardner, Lawson, Saron from France, Magee Australia, Mackenzie UK and Killy from Italy.
Not a bad result for Neil Mackenzie.
No, it's not, considering he threw it up the road in practice. He should be pretty pleased with himself. And it shows the Hondas a lot better because both Mackenzie and Killy are up there.
And of course, Mackenzie fell off in a big way in Austria.
Yes, he did.
So his confidence will have been dented. He desperately needs a good result. And 5th is consistent with his world standing. So not a bad result for him. A fair day's work, I would say. An even better day's work for reigning world champion Wayne Gardner. This will be a popular decision, that's for sure. The programs will go, the flags will go, the crowd will support this rider all the way round to the checkered flag. Not yet applauding him, but I'm quite sure he'll do a victory lap. Flicks the Honda down into the left-hander, looking very smooth. A polished performance by Wayne Gardner, Barry.
Oh, yeah, really. You've got to hand it to him. He's had a lousy season through no fault of his own. He's put everything he's got into it. And he certainly deserves to win, you know, today, without any shadow of a doubt. I mean, the poor bloke, nobody can say he's had it all his own way this year. Now, what Wayne will be thinking now, he's a little look behind there and he thinks, right, OK, if this thing drops its lunch now, I can coast to the start line. When he comes down, once he gets down into the chicane, right, he could coast from there on in now, so he's won it.
So he's heading round towards the left-hander, heading down the straight. A beautiful wheelie from Gardner, the checkered flag. And he takes his first Grand Prix. A popular decision all round, and I'm quite sure popular with Gardner himself. And here's Lawson. Lawson coming out as well, his front wheels in the air. Second place for Eddie Lawson. Second place in 17 points. The points go all the way down to 15. Gardner collects the 20 for the win. Eddie Lawson collects 17 for second place. The 15 go to Christian Saron in third. Magee collects 13 for his trouble. Mackenzie collects 11. His teammate Pierre Francisco Chile bringing up 6th place. So that is the leaderboard, but no mistaking the winner. Reigning world champion Wayne Gardner, #1 on the Honda. Riders looking back now. What will he do now, Barry? Will he do a victory lap?
What would he do? He's probably thinking, I'm going to go out and have a good binge tonight and forget all the bad luck and bad handling I've been having this year. it sets you up so well when you've had such a miserable season as Wayne has, to get a good result like that and to show people that you haven't given up.
Okay, so a quick recap. Here's the winner, number 1, Wayne Gardner from Australia. Eddie Lawson in second place. Christian Saron in third from France. Kevin Magee from Australia in fourth. Neil Mackenzie from GB in fifth place. And Pierre